Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corey. If you're new here, I make random videos ranging from mukbangs to product reviews to unboxings to every single Monday I do a weekly ASMR video. I have really gotten into vlogs, and the vlogs could be anything ranging from what's going on that day, what's on my mind, or just videos, about different topics that I want to cover. And this is one of those videos. Maybe you are looking for a club, or maybe you want to start your own club. You're not, then Meetup is a really good place. And for those, maybe you don't know what Meetup is, maybe just stumbled onto this video, meetup.com, and I'll put the link down below, is a club website in which you can either join a club, and the clubs range from anything. I've even seen like zombie lover clubs. Or you can actually start up your own club. And to do that, you would have to pay. To join, it's free. To start up, it's uh, they have like I think like a deal like when you first sign up, they have like a one-time deal, I believe. I don't remember that was a while ago, but they have like for 6 months now, it's like $50, or like for a month each, it's like $15 or something. So like we're getting more money if you do the longer out. And so you're thinking, well, why should I listen to you? What have you done? Well, really, I actually technically did it. Now she's taken over, but um, my mom is going through a very rough patch in her life, and I really wanted her to get up and get out and do something and meet new people, because especially I notice, and I think it makes common sense, as people get older, it's kind of hard to meet new people. And so I was looking and I found Meetup, and I'm like, why not give it a try? My mom's not computer savvy in the least, really, in the least. So I went and put it together. I'm really good at playing devil's advocate, and so like I thought of like all the things that could happen, and like because that's what you have to think when you're putting together a bunch of group of people. Anything you have to think of all things that could happen, how could it come together. And news to say, it has been 6 years later, and my mom's club is going strong, and she has a steady group of members who she can actually call her friends, not acquaintances. So I'm here to say, it's very doable. Don't think, though, at the very beginning it's going to be easy. I don't think many things in life are very easy at the beginning. And this is not going to be any different. When we first started the club, it was such a disaster. We had a club, then we closed it, then we started a different one. This first club, the very first day, only one person showed, and my mom was definitely fine with showing up, and because one person, one's person, it doesn't really matter. But one thing that I've learned with a lot of people on clubs, and I just think in general, is they want to be in like a large group of people for some reason. And I mean, the ultimate goal is to have a group of people, but I mean like a large group of people. And anyone can see that the club had just started, and this one person went and saw that there was not a lot of people, and yet was like, "Where's everybody?" And was literally going on the entire time, "Where's everybody? This is weird." And my mom's like, "Well, at the very least, it's like hanging out with a girlfriend. When you go out with your girlfriend, you can have just one, you and the other person, or maybe one or two extra." But she's like, "Well, it's weird," and telling her all these things and whatnot, and made it a very unpleasant and a very unfun experience. She pushed on for like a month or two more and couldn't get anybody. And she's like, just close it up. It's not going well. And I'm like, no. I'm like, she is honestly, and I'm not kissing ass here. I'm just stating she's a very sweet, very kind person. I'm like, I am someone who struggles making friends. You have literally the ability to go out and meet anyone. You just have that personality, that very kind, very, not saying I'm not very kind and whatever. It's just she has a more open way of showing it. And I'm just saying that. So, needless to say, we did close the club, and she needed a little break. We went back, and the second one is the one that stuck. We finally got like a bunch of people coming, and the thing is, I have actually written out here. I try not to keep it scripted, but there's some points that I have here that I'm going to discuss. I might need to break it up into another video, or maybe get through it all and maybe come up with ideas. We'll see how it goes. I try to keep it very unscripted here. Needless to say is, don't give up. One of the biggest things I can even say before I start anything is persistence. You might have to close up. Maybe and maybe need a little break, and that's what we needed, a little break to recuperate and tackle it on tackle the task at hand, but with a new renewed sense. And don't get discouraged, because people are people can be really. I did a video and deleted it, and I want to do another one about people can be illogical. And when I finally do it, I will link it here, or maybe you'd already see it anyway. But the thing is, you're gonna have people signing up and never showing up, and it is the strangest thing. And if you will look at some of these people, they are signed up for like 90 other meetups, and it's like, I don't know how it's humanly possible to be part of 98 meetups and be everywhere at once. And so I think some of them are just lonely and just enjoy filling out profiles or whatever it may be. But the thing is, especially for my mom and me, we want active people. So the first thing that I can say, the first tip that I can really recommend for you is do a weekly meetup. I've noticed some people do monthly meetups, but here's the thing: you're like, well, it's crazy, it's hard to meet up, if at the very least try to do. No, even then, I would really try to really recommend doing a weekly thing. And here is why my little spiel. And the thing is, you don't have to take a take or leave it. Do your own thing, and not saying, what I hate is when someone gives tips and they make it seem like their way is the only way. My way is not the only way. It is just as it is a tip. Take it, leave it, make it your own. So the thing is, mom and me had discussed, and when you do anything like work, or when you've actually made a friend, it's because you see that person often. When you see somebody not so often, I'm not saying you can't be friends, but it's very hard because there's so much that have happened in that space of time, and then you have to add to the fact that you're going to have a group of other people on there. So you're not going to get just one-on-one time with that person. So you might get 5 minutes. So now you have a month's span of time going on, and you're going to try to talk about that in 5 minutes that you can get in between other people. Because truth, another thing is about the groups is sometimes it's all in unison. Other times it's broken up and people are talking here and there, and it's normal. It's fine. That's, part of the fun of being in a club. But whereas if it's a week span of time, you can talk a lot more of what happened in a week in 5 to 10 minutes with that one particular person and actually build something, compared to, like I said, the month's time span. My mom had another member who was like, work so much better, let's do a month. And my mom asked her, well, are you friends with anybody there? And she said, no, I actually really don't know anybody in that group. Whereas in this group, people actually know one another. They're actually hanging out outside the group. And when you have people hanging out outside the group, things are good. And that's because there's actually people have actually linked up. There's actually that camaraderie that you're trying to get, because the point of a club is not just to have a bunch of people sitting together in a room talking. It's to actually get people talking when they're not even in the group texting. That means you've built friendships. The point is making friends, and I think never forget that. The next important thing is to stress, but understand it's sometimes like pulling teeth, and especially at the very beginning, RSVPing. RSVPing because especially when you first start out, your time is precious. Maybe you don't, for my mom especially, being a mother of a special needs child, her time is very precious, and that's why she does in the morning. And so maybe you have more time, maybe it's not the biggest thing, you don't really care, but just want to go, RSVPing is important because you don't want to go all the way down someplace, or even if it's someplace close, you don't want to go and sit there and just wait there for anybody. At least if you know RSVPing, it gives you a chance to say, okay, one, two, even if it's one person, you shouldn't have I need 3 people. At least, even if it's one person, there's a point. But if nobody's going, especially because, like I said, you just started, then it's kind of dumb just to sit there and just hope and pray that someone will be there. You know what I'm saying? So people, though, as it goes on later, you're going to try, but some people, just for some reason, it's very hard for people. And the thing is, they have an app, you can just click go, but I'm just saying at the beginning, it's very important to stress, please RSVP, please. And kind of just say to them, it's not fair for me to be sitting here waiting and seeing if anybody's coming. Literally just takes a second. But, and I say this loosely because I say people, in the beginning it was super important, but as you get down the line, you might have to get a little bit more lax, because my mom is pushing, and there's still members who are coming, members who RSVP, members who don't. But I think always bring it up, always strive for that. The next thing is to find a location that you can go to steady. I think that unless you have a meetup where it's like the different locations and you're trying different things, but that's fine. But if you are not, find a location like my mom does it at a local cafe, and it's spacious enough that she can fit enough people, and also where they can speak loudly. You don't want to go in a place where, because especially if you're adults, maybe a dirty word might slip out. And the thing is, my mom is not someone who uses profanity, but when you get up, you might tell a joke or something comes up, or maybe you're talking about sex or whatever it may be. It happens at times, and you don't want to be like, oh, there's kids around, and there might be kids around in the location, but you want to find at least where it's spacious enough, and that way you're not so cramped with everybody that they're going to hear every single word you're saying, and also that you won't be kicked out. The cafe she picked is where they're allowed to, talk freely and, just be relaxed. And so really plan your atmosphere, go there, test it out, see if you see large groups of people. That is going to be very important. And another thing that just occurred to me is pick a steady day to do it each week. Reasoning for picking is, for my mom, it's Thursday. And the reason why this one day is because you don't need to think about it. It's ingrained into your head. Thursday, this time, this location, you're going to meet up. And you don't have to think about it. And after a while, you start getting this. Like if you think about it, any class you do, whether it be an art class, painting class, a college class, or even your job, it is at this location, at this time, at this day. So that really is, I think we're creatures of habit, and we really need that steady thing to go. Whereas I've seen meetups where it is this day, this time, and not everybody's going to want to look at the club. And like I said, hoping and praying people RSVP is a nice thing. So, even if they don't, at least they know when you're going to have somebody coming. The next thing is to do your thing and keep balance. What I mean by this is this is your club, and to pretty much do what you want, take suggestions, but know that you are going to have the final say. And what do I mean by this is that my mom pretty much has a theme. It is a morning group. They get together and they chat. And once in a while, do a little something different, go to a restaurant. But the thing is that with the different members, they all have different tastes. And like when she asks a movie, like, what do you want to do for a movie? Everyone has a different taste in a movie, and no one wants to see the other person's movie. So that's what I'm trying to say. Ask suggestions, but know at the end of the day, you're going to have to pick something that you think everyone will do, something that you also can enjoy as well. Because if you leave it up to everyone else, everyone is kind of, and it's not mean, it's true, everyone's kind of thinking of their own needs and not so much, and there's some people, maybe think, but in general, not everyone's thinking of everyone else's needs, and they're thinking of, this is what I want to enjoy. And so by doing that, they're like, I'm not going to see that, I'm not going to see that. And it's happened many times where when my mom just let everyone kind of say, you can kind of choose, it kind of fell apart, and it went where nobody was going, or she picked them. And even then, when you pick it, you're going to have people who are not going. But ultimately, it's your club, it's your enjoyment. What you're picking should be kind of along the lines that everyone can enjoy. Some people are just going to be kind of spoiled sports and not want to go. So just that's something to throw out there. The other one is, do not accept donations, in my opinion. Donations may sound really great because it helps pay for the cost, but the cost is not that high in my opinion. And I'm a broke ass mother effer. The reason for this is because when people give donations, it's kind of like they have royalties, and they're going to be like, well, I wanted to do this. And you're like, but it's my club. Well, I donated. And you really don't want that. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're okay with it. That's just... The other one is, be specific on the club title and the club overview, especially in the first few sentences. If you want to specify, if this is a dance club, this is a dance club, you want to have like the club like the men and women's dance club, Friday nighttime, whatever county you live in or whatever, as much as you can fit in, try to word it. You want that to be like boing, because when we didn't specify that it was a morning club, people joined, didn't read the overview, and because a lot of people don't, I think, read the overview and like, oh, why can't I work? Can we do different times? And it's like, my mom did it because she has my special needs brother and can't do it, and so they weren't able to participate. So that is literally the first thing people are going to see, and sometimes the only thing people are going to see. And when you do the description, make sure that the first few sentences are the most like, this is a club, blah, blah, blah. We meet at this time, at this location. Make it very obvious, very quick. The other thing is remove and keep active members. Why is this important? Because you don't want, when people go on, you want people when they say, oh, I'm going to meet this person. This person's, because other members have actually said to my mom, I've read some of the profiles and it's so interesting. When am I going to meet this person? And some of those people we had to remove because they'd been there for so long. So we started implementing where if we don't see from you in like a month, or you have an RSVP'd, unfortunately they're going to have to be removed. And we put that on the overview. We let all the members know so they know it's not a surprise, because you want, when you look there, the other members are reading through some of their profiles, very excited. They want to meet that person. They don't want to see somebody who hasn't been there in 4 months, 5 months. It makes no sense if they haven't shown up. You have an RSVP or anything, they're pretty much not going to be an active member. They haven't been an active member and probably never will be. It's not worth wasting any space. The other one is to come up with good questions. These questions, some people just accept everybody, and that's fine. But if you kind of have a certain vibe you're going for in your club, a certain feel, and I can't specify because everyone has a different feel of what you're going for. Maybe you want this feel or that vibe that you want in your club. Those questions, because when you first sign up, when people sign up, there are 5 questions that you can create. And those are the only window you're going to get besides seeing the picture. And you shouldn't base it just on a picture of a person. You should base it on their questions, the way they think. Don't base on their looks, which is my opinion. But those questions are really, they can be anything. And so we kind of do things like, what are 5 things you love, 5 things you hate? Silly questions like, if you hear a noise, and would you run to, and it's kind of just to see if they have like a sense of humor, see if they're kind of stickler. Like one of the other questions you have, if there was a law being made, I live in New Jersey, so we have this law being made in New Jersey, what would that be? And so like there's different, just trying to get in, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your hobbies, what your likes, and always be descriptive, because people in general put 1 or 2 words, and that's not helpful. But even then, sometimes people aren't. But even then, the lack of words will kind of tell you a little bit about. But then again, that's kind of a hard, it's a rough spot. It's really rough because we've accepted 1 or 2 people who had very little words, and they turned out to be great people. So it's not 100% indicator, but it's just kind of your last line of defense to kind of see if maybe there's any warning signs. There were some people who had answers that I was like, whoa. And the final one is to kind of keep people included, because after a while you start getting a steady group of people, and when you get a new member, you don't want them to feel left out, because it's very common in any type of group. When you get comfortable and you get a new member, you've already have your little clique, you're comfortable, and you don't realize that person's not included, because it's very nerve-wracking to have a bunch of people that you don't know, because not everyone's confident. Some people are, they can walk in, they don't care. Other people, it's very quiet. So in order to include them, we have started something called Q&A Day. And what that is you come up with a bunch of questions. You can easy Google thought-provoking questions. And these questions could be silly, thought-provoking. Some of the questions are like, do you believe in ghosts? One of the silly ones was, you hear that a really strong smell starts emitting. It was actually you. You passed gas. Do you blame one of your friends? Do you blame the dog? Do you just say, I don't smell anything? And that's one of the silly questions. And so you come up with a bunch of questions depending on how many people, and bring a little extra. And you pass it out to each member. Each member gets 2, and then you go around the table, and each person answers their own question. And that way, it's the silly to get laughter, the serious you kind of get to know. And by the end of the time, that new person is included. And then you also even learn new things about members that that have still been going, you didn't know. Other members can learn from here and there, and it just includes that person, because they can actually get their time, their spotlight to shine, to incorporate. And that way, by the time that's over, the next week, usually a lot of the members are included, and it runs a lot more smoothly. So guys, I really hope you liked this video. I'm going to see if I can think of anything else. This is kind of just a spur of the moment. I'm like, what can I do? And I thought this would be a great video idea. If I can think of anything else, I will do a part 2. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. I would be more than happy to ask. And remember, all these I said are suggestions, ideas. If you don't like it, go with your own, go with complete opposite, I'm just only saying I have, like the 6 years of experience. I have had so much happen, so many things like, this sounds like it'll work, but then like, and it's been a lot of trial and error to kind of create perfect, to make our club as perfect as it can be. But even then, there's still points that pop up and new things. And I think that's kind of the fun, though, with doing a club. You know, it keeps you on your toes. It's not just the aspect of meeting new people, it's the aspect of organizing. And I think it really creates and fosters great like leadership skills. And it's I think it's a very enriching experience. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to saw and want to see more, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Also, make sure that bell's ringing so you get notifications for all my new videos. And I really do hope that you enjoyed this and got something out of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye, guys.